Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Justin Copa here. Another episode of Justin Copa's Journey. Now, many of you have been sending great feedback, and I greatly appreciate it. And others of you are yet to send some feedback, and I would love to hear from you. Just because, what should I be talking about? Well, it's mainly going to be about the things that I'm observing. And I really want to dive into some of the things that I'm observing. And at the same point, I want to introduce you to what a state break is. So what a state break would be is as I'm speaking to you about observation, and then all of a sudden I cut you off and hold up my cup and say, hey, go check out our pottery, where you can buy this mug or one very similar to it. I will not sell you this mug, but I will sell you some that are very similar. And why state breaks are very important is it's kind of like a pattern interrupt. And this week, I had a big pattern interrupt. And I'll be able to go more into kind of what this week was about and how I use pattern interrupts to reset, rejuvenate, and realign myself. And I would highly recommend you do the same. So there was this thing that took over the world just a few years ago. And many of you would know it around 2019 to 2020. And this 2020 period or thing that occurs or occurred in the past went on for ages. It went on for 3-4 years. Some people still think it was just yesterday. Now, I'm not going to say the word because I understand you might already know the word. And I would say this is a perfect example of a pattern interrupt. It disrupted the whole entire world, very much so like an emotional shock. If you want to take another situation, think of the Twin Towers that occur in New York. And I believe it was 2001, called 9/11. Emotional shock, pattern interrupt. Now, I want to go into pattern interrupts because I was observing and I was speaking to a friend as we were going back to the same sauna and cold plunge place last Saturday. And he was describing a situation, and then from there I got lost in the conversation, yet the example was perfect. It was, we took a wrong turn in the car to get to the sauna place, and the GPS wanted us to go somewhere else, yet intuitively, I was able to go around the block without the GPS because it didn't register that this apartment's parking lot had 2 ins and 2 outs. So we just cut through the parking lot and we arrive right exactly where we were supposed to be, which was the sauna cold plunge place. And while we were talking, the point of view became more and more clear. And what I mean by that is many people, if you were to think of your phone screen and how you look at it, and this was definitely me and the whole reason why I needed to take a state break because of my ability to observe. Now, observation is one of these key principles that people should master. And some of the principles that I'm currently working on mastering. Now, some of you, let me set this down for a second. Some of you think that since I talk slowly and pause longly, that I do not have a purpose with the words that are coming out of my mouth, which is very much so misguided. Now, why that would be is you have to think about it. If you were to speak to someone and they were speaking to you like a crackhead, 100 miles an hour, making no sense at all, you probably can think of somebody who talks 100 miles an hour. And if you do not know this person and you become familiar with this person, yeah, You might be able to trust them and get to know them, etc. However, there are many people that I do not know that listen to this, which is why I have to slow down. One of my mentors speaks about how you should be moving as if you're underwater. Now, if you were to think if you move underwater, you might move very slowly. And you have to move with precision. And why that is just to allow you to give a stronger, purposeful message to whoever you are speaking to. So I hope that makes sense. And going back to the observation part, and if you notice how I use the state break, very similar to a commercial break, when speaking to you just a little bit ago, you will understand how TV works a lot more. Because if you think about it, every time a TV show is about to hit climax, what do you see? Well, it's commercial break if you watch mainstream media. Netflix is now beginning to do that with their advertisements as well. I don't watch a lot of TV, yet this week I have watched a good amount of baseball. And I'll be able to go into why I decided to pattern interrupt my schedule. So maybe you can challenge yourself into pattern interrupting your scheduled programs that are running each and every week. Now, this time I'll actually finish the story on observation. And the purpose behind it is to give you more examples of state breaks, pattern interrupts, and how people use them. So be aware of them. Because as you learn to observe, when I was speaking to my friend, it's like if you were to take out your iPhone or your Android phone or whatever type of phone that you have, and you were to click it on. Now, if you're driving, do not do this. Yet if you're in a safe place, please participate in this practice. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is pull out your phone again, turn it on, and get it to some sort of app that you like to use, and then hold it up right to your eyes. And try to read and see what's on the screen. With the phone pressed to your forehead, you trying to read the words that are on the screen. So you can fully understand this observation that I'm about to share with you. Now, many people I am noticing, especially in myself, walk around with a phone screen smashed to their eyes. And this is more metaphorically, okay? I'm not actually saying people walk around with their phone screens smashed to their eyes, yet at the same time, if you observe things, you'll begin to pick up certain patterns. So for example, there was this lady that I know very well, and we were giving a gift to another individual who was graduating school. And the gift we decided was one of my big bowls for pottery, just as a way for them to think of me since I would not be at the party as I had some other meetings. And this lady said, hey, we should give this one instead, which would be a vase. And with that, I said, okay, we'll pick out a vase and give it to her. And this lady says, well, no, we already have it packaged up. I'm not going to change it. And I'm sitting here scratching my head like, why don't you give them both of them? Well, that's too much. I'm like, in what sort of field is it too much? And then I began to realize how binary people are. It's either yes or no, black or white, good or evil. And in this situation, these are all metaphors. It was either one or the other, when in reality, it could have just easily been both of them. And it was very easy for us to make this work, yet if we're so zoomed in, especially with our observation of life, where we're putting our phone screens to our foreheads, trying to read the words on the phone screen, it may be very challenging. So with that being said, this week I took my whole entire schedule. I made 6 months out of it. From waking up at 4 to red light, to hitting the gym, anywhere from 6:30 to 9:30 in the morning, depending on, kind of the alignments there. I don't know if I quite went into my full morning routine, yet it would be alarm goes off at 4, align the conscious and unconscious mind through the source, the Father. From there, red light, breath work, journaling, no phone screen for the first hour, working on delaying caffeine for the first hour. Once we hit that first full hour mark, we're at about 5 a.m. I love to go pick up a good book. I got many of them here. This one, again, I've already referenced it. My Voice Will Go With You. Now, a great book. And I know I've already referenced it. Otherwise, it might be time for you to pick it up and read it. So from there, read for an hour, 5 to 6. I would shoot to go to the gym. If I did not, I would be doing some sort of computer work. And then, ripping sales calls from 8 till about 2:45-ish, if not 4 o'clock. And then we'll go work out again. Bed by 8:40 the latest. My alarm goes off and tells me, hey, it's time to wind down from bed. I miss Bible studies, which start right around 9 a.m., which kind of picked up here in the later second half of this first 6 months of the year. And this week I said, all right, we're not doing any of that. We're going to sleep in. We're going to have no sales calls. You're just going to put on your eye mask in the middle of the day. You're going to take a nap. I would highly recommend an eye mask, by the way. And it's more so for you to understand where you are going. Especially if we, as a society, are so zoomed in on our phone screens. We have to take a break and zoom out, especially when it comes to mastering observation. Especially if you think of it on a timeline. This moment of time is so zoomed in that you are right here, right now, in this present moment. If you were to zoom out, you can see your past and you can see your future. And I, as a person, have worked so much on the past because if you think about a hologram, the past aligns with the future and the future aligns with the present. Meaning, not only does your past self get you to where you are right now, also your future self allows you to be where you are right now. And I was having a very tough, challenging time with this. And what I mean by that is, it's for me to give myself permission to have the designs that I am after, to make the money that I'm after, to build the business that I am after, to serve the people that I'm supposed to serve, to get the people results that I'm getting results for. And it's to give myself permission to have those things. And for me, my observation was so zoomed in on the phone screen that I was not able to zoom out into future self to give myself permission to have those things. And I want to share this message with you, especially if you fully understand how a hologram works. And if you do not, go look it up and understand that it may be very similar to how we work as humans, especially when it comes to the mind. So, with all of this being said, I had to zoom out, a massive pattern interrupt, especially my day-to-day, which I may have been redlining, as in if you were to rev up a car and you were to redline it, it's almost go over its RPMs, where if you hold it over its RPMs of what it can handle, it may blow up. So after revving it right there, I decided to let off the gas and now just think throughout this week, which makes me even more full of excitement, full of eagerness, full of intention is the word that I'm really, truly looking for to get after it next week as we head into the next 6 months of this year. I cannot believe that 6 months has already flown by. And for you, I would very much so challenge you to a state pattern interrupt. Now, with all of these things being said, there are a few things that I have to get off my chest. One of them is, if you ever hurt me in emotionally, physically, any sort of way, I personally am here to tell you, I forgive you. Now, at the same exact moment, if I ever hurt you physically, mentally, or in any sort of way, I simply want to humbly ask myself and yourself for forgiveness. And I do this humbly. I want to put it out there and just know that I forgive those who forgave me. And I want to forgive you and simply humble myself and ask for forgiveness. So, greatly appreciate you guys tuning into this one. If you want to follow me on X, I am Justin Copit. Follow me on Instagram, I am Justin Copit. And we shall see you guys on the next one. All right? Peace.